In spite of the existence of a widespread and competent European banking sector, many small enterprises still lack access to financial services. This is why a growing number of programs to fight social exclusion and promote micro-enterprises have also launched microcredit projects. In Europe, microcredit is usually defined as a loan of less than €25,000. In France, in 1989, the Association for the Right to Economic Initiative, or ADI, one of the first European microfinance institutions, was founded at the initiative of Maria Noack. At its open days, ADI welcomes people, both the unemployed and minimum income recipients, who would like to start their own businesses but who find themselves excluded from the traditional banking system.
Donc il est dans le réseau des organismes d'aide à la création d'entreprise et ce qui n'est pas plus mal pour lui aussi dans sa situation où il a besoin d'un accompagnement pour construire son projet. Il bénéficiera d'un accompagnement avant la création, après la création, alors que s'il va avoir une banque, c'est quelqu'un qui est au chômage apparemment depuis plusieurs années. Je ne pense pas que la banque le suive non plus, donc c'est quelqu'un qui a besoin d'être accompagné aussi par des structures.
At the ADI convention, people share their experiences and plan their new projects. ADI is still one of the largest microfinance institutions in Europe. It operates throughout France as well as in French overseas territories. ADI has now assisted more than 53,000 people to start and develop their own businesses. It has a large network of volunteers and staff, and it provided nearly 10,000 loans in 2007. At the end of the year, it had more than 18,000 active clients.
Je suis persuadée que le travail indépendant en Europe est une forme de travail d'avenir. On a tendance à le considérer un petit peu comme archaïque. Ce n'est pas vrai, ce n'est plus vrai. L'histoire a fait une sorte de retour en arrière et aujourd'hui, avec la montée de services, l'économie de la connaissance, les nouvelles technologies, il va se développer très rapidement. Et je pense que dans cette optique-là, le microcrédit devient l'outil absolument nécessaire pour développer le travail indépendant et les micro-entreprises.
The convention provides an opportunity for Maria Noack to invite her friend, Mohamed Yunus, winner of the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006, for his work creating the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh in 1977.
In Bangladesh, probably you have one kind of niche for your market. Opportunity here will be different, maybe more attractive, more expanded version will be available here than we have in Bangladesh. So to that extent there will be changes. But the basic thing requires the same, is the people's need for money to create income opportunity for themselves by creating a sort of self-employment, so that if I don't have any other source of income, I can create my own source of income by creating self-employment. And there I need small capital. And that's where this microcredit comes handy. I can take a loan, it doesn't require any collateral, it doesn't need any guarantee. So I'm perfect fit for that. So I can go and do that and create my income and use my creativity, because every human being has a lot of creativity.
One thing that European micro-entrepreneurs certainly don't lack is creativity. In fact, there are 24 million micro-entrepreneurs managing businesses with fewer than 10 employees, like Digna, for example, who has brought Cap Vert gastronomy and conviviality to Marseille. With €2,500 borrowed from ADI plus her own savings, she was able to fit out her restaurant and buy the equipment she needed.
Les gens, un jour, ils m'ont dit, mais tiens, mais cette dame-là, pourquoi elle n'ouvre pas un restaurant? Elle fait très bon, de bons repas. Et c'est là que j'ai eu l'idée d'ouvrir le restaurant.
The restaurant took off with its delicious octopus and other recipes. Now it's open 7 days a week. By sheer willpower, Digna, who also raises 3 children on her own, has succeeded in making her creative instincts blossom, sometimes with a song as well. A few kilometres away, another business creator, Alexander, opened his shop at the end of 2006. Here he repairs and sells computers, supplies software, computer games, and also gives courses. This passionate young entrepreneur also leveraged the €3,000 lent by Adi to obtain another loan of €7,000 from the French government Eden programme, and he finished by obtaining a bank loan as well.
L'Adi, l'Eden m'ont prêté des sous, mais il me manquait encore un petit peu. Et à partir de ce moment-là, qu'ils ont vu qu'en fait mon dossier de prévisionnel, que l'Eden et l'Adi m'avaient prêté des sous, la banque m'a prêté un petit peu. Pas énormément, il m'a prêté un petit peu, ce qui me permettait de faire mon fonds de roulement surtout. Parce qu'avec tout ce qui était sous de l'Adi, j'ai réussi à acheter mon stock, mais après j'avais pas mon fonds de roulement. Donc c'est pour ça qu'ensuite j'ai fait un deuxième petit crédit à la banque pour avoir mon fonds de roulement.
In Europe, more than 30% of business creators are drawn from the ranks of the unemployed or those on minimum income payments. A short time ago, Alexander was also on the minimum income. Now, aged 26 years, he has a business turning over €100,000 a year. This hairdresser was looking for an esthetician. After a skills assessment, Sabine decided to accept the post, but on a self-employed basis. She borrowed a bit more than €3,000 from Adi over 2 years to buy stock and equipment and to do a specific training course.
Aucune personne m'aurait permis de travailler en cabine comme je travaille, et notamment avec les produits avec lesquels je travaille. Le chiffre, c'est très bien, mais j'ai un métier de contact et un métier de communication, et avant que le chiffre soit important, c'est d'abord la personne que je reçois qui est importante. Donc le problème d'un institut traditionnel, c'est que il faut qu'il assume ses charges, il faut qu'il ait des rentrées d'argent, donc c'est l'usinage.
Now self-employed and independent, Sabine chooses to do quality work. With her natural care products and excellent competence, she is free to express herself. European microfinance, like in England, really began to take off from the year 2000. In the UK, the British government played a major role in this by facilitating the creation of Community Development Finance Institutions, or CDFIs, which endeavoured to meet the bigger issues of credit access for people in trouble. Fair Finance in London is one of the new institutions. It was started in 2005 to help people in London's East Side who do not have access to credit. This is a particularly depressed area with a large proportion of people who belong to ethnic minorities.
Fair Finance exists to give people who have only access to expensive credit an alternative. It exists to give people who have only access to no opportunities for employment or self-employment some type of facility. It exists also to act as a bridge between those who are excluded and the mainstream financial services.
Fair Finance has just opened its third office and has widened its range of products to include social loans and financial education. It has won several national and international prizes for its good practices. As he often does, Ricardo visits a client in the Shoreditch area. Following the closure of several underground lines in 1986, many train carriages were left standing idle for years. Recently, a young designer from London had the idea of renting and then purchasing these carriages. In 2006, Fair Finance lent him £15,000, approximately €23,000, over 5 years.
People that have good idea has to be helped. We can't help them just because they have guarantee to give, but we have to believe in their idea, in their project.
After refitting the carriages as offices, Oro Thomas now rents them to architects, designers or other tenants.
There's a lot of other people working in the same community which are working in a creative field, so we can exchange a lot of information, we can work together, collaborate on specific projects.
In fact, 4 carriages are already fitted out, each one with 6 offices which are rented at €23 per week, a bargain for young artists considering normal London rents. The Community Development Finance Association, or CDFA, has taken other more traditional offices. This organisation has 76 member CDFIs, which are English financing institutions that fund the broader social economy. Fair Finance is one of these microfinance institutions.
Hotel.
It is.
Yeah.
George is booked for the hotel. So.
Okay, brilliant. I'm glad he's coming.
We've been working in this field now for a few years, and we have shown that what we do works. We have millions of pounds out on loan, and we've created thousands of jobs, and we've sustained thousands of others, and we've actually levered in £285 million into our clients' businesses and households because we've taken the risk end of the deal. So we are showing it's working. There are real results coming out of it, but what we need is more continued support for longer so that we can really make it happen.
Let's go back to Oro Thomas and his unique offices. It took him more than 4 years to find finance.
Okay, cool. I went to the banks and they weren't interested. I was too young, this project was too wild. So with Fair Finance, they're interested in supporting the community and supporting social projects. So for that reason initially, they were a good bet. And then from my point of view, I have a relationship with them, they are friendly, I have a face, a name, a friend there. So there's a dialogue and there's a relationship which exists, which doesn't happen with the banks. And that's important, I think, for a lot of small social businesses.
And Oro Thomas's creativity does not end there. Recently he transformed a hangar into a gallery, which he makes available to artists from all over Europe. All these initiatives have been facilitated by British business registration rules, which are among the most flexible in Europe and which pose a real challenge to other European countries. Development of microcredit is closely linked to improving the regulatory environment for micro-enterprises. In Spain, much remains to be done, but fortunately private sector banks, such as the savings banks, have provided the spark for the development of microfinance in that country. Cristina works for La Caixa, which is the top savings bank in Spain and in Europe. La Caixa launched its microcredit activities in 2003 via its social work projects. Cristina is making a short visit to one of her clients, a market trader named Del Nino, to gather some information on the progress of her business.
¿Cómo va el negocio? Si tienen algún problema, si está funcionando bien, si tienen expectativas de crecimiento. Si hay algún problema de funcionamiento del negocio, podemos detectar el problema antes de que realmente surja e intentar adecuar las cuotas.
La Caixa has already assisted more than 2,000 Spanish micro-entrepreneurs by signing agreements with more than 200 social institutions. In 2007 it opened the first microfinance bank in Europe, Microbank, to better achieve its objectives, an extra motivation for its employees.
O sea, si al final tu trabajo se mide no tan solo en papeles, llamadas, documentos, correos, sino se mide en que haya personas que hayan podido cumplir alguno de sus objetivos y que hayan recuperado su autoestima, esto no se paga, es algo que te llevas y que te quedas dentro.
This social model is popular in Spain with its savings banks, which lend money, and its social organizations, which provide mentoring and follow-up for borrowers.
Es un país donde existe un auténtico nicho de emprendedores y esto se demuestra en los números de producción y la cantidad de demanda que existe en microcrédito y que sabemos que va a existir en microcrédito financiero. Esta es una diferencia, desde mi punto de vista, importante. Y una segunda diferencia es que este país dispone de una herramienta clave para el desarrollo de la microfinanza, como son las cajas de ahorro.
La Caixa has built links with micro-entrepreneurs through social organizations or even chambers of commerce, such as the Peru organization for people originally from Latin America. Thus it is possible to respond quickly to the needs of business creators.
La Cámara de Comercio de Perú, como entidad social, como entidad de apoyo a esta gente que tiene ideas para un trabajo nuevo, se nos explique cuál es la realidad, en este caso de dos personas, porque vamos a tener que cambiar nuestro sistema financiero para hacerles un traje a medida, exactamente lo que les hace falta para que su proyecto no sea un fracaso.
2 years ago, the Peru Chamber of Commerce helped this entrepreneur of Ecuadorian origin to launch his own business. Gabriel, who has been in Barcelona for 8 years, started out as an employee in the construction industry. Now he has started working for himself with a loan of €15,000 over 4.5 years from La Caixa. Switching frequently between his business and human resources roles, he runs from one site to another to supervise his 3 employees. Gabriel now plans to open another office on the other side of Barcelona. He also wants to extend his business to the fields of removals, transport and cleaning.
Eso es, digamos, la ilusión de toda persona, salir de un caos, de un problema social, económico, político, como lo estamos viviendo en nuestros países latinos. Lo estamos viviendo en una crisis muy crítica, entonces tenemos que emigrar a otros países, por ejemplo, ahora aquí en España, en la cual hay muy buenas fuentes de trabajo y es una cosa que es normal. Como no existe la división, ¿verdad?
The Pedrera building, designed by Gaudi, houses the first organisation to have started microcredit programmes in Spain. Un Sol Món is a foundation created by the Catalonia Savings Bank. In 5 years, it has granted more than 1,200 loans at an average of €9,000.
El microcrédito realmente es una herramienta muy potente para crear confianza en las personas, para salir adelante de situaciones difíciles. El microcrédito no es que sea una varita mágica que solucione todos los problemas, pero es un excelente complemento de las políticas sociales en este momento.
Un Sol Món also assists microcredit institutions in developing countries. Like other savings banks, it lends money, but there is a variety of social organisations which are in direct relations with the client. CPAC is a private foundation in Catalonia for promoting businesses. It provides follow-up of the business for the entrepreneur.
Si la empresa va bien, se hacen 4 entrevistas. Esas 4 entrevistas se intentan hacer siempre en el local de la persona para hacer un poco de, primero, control del dinero que ha recibido, que realmente se lo haya gastado en lo que ha hecho, pero también intentar hacer un poco de lo que actualmente está tan de moda, que es el coaching.
Magdalena and Juan have come through the Solidarity Service, a CPAC partner, to obtain a loan of €22,000 over 5 years, financed by Un Sol Món. Originally from Argentina, the couple opened a restaurant at the end of 2006.
Yo estoy muy agradecido con el microcrédito y la oportunidad que nos dieron a nosotros de por fin, a esta altura, ya después de haber trabajado tantos años, de tener nuestro propio espacio, gracias a eso. Porque quizá trabajando para otra persona, para juntar el dinero para montar esto, tengo que trabajar, no sé, 30 años sin gastar dinero.
La diferencia entre el microcrédito y cualquier banco es que confían y apoyan a personas que, igual que los demás que tienen aval, queremos trabajar y queremos abrirnos un camino, pero no podemos. Entonces es un poco... ¿Quieres esto? Pues dame esto, pero no tengo esto. Si no, no te voy a pedir esto. Es un poco...
Microfinance in Europe, like in Spain and in France, can have a strong social dimension, reaching people who are completely out of touch with banks, but it can also address small and medium enterprises with larger loans, which may also be provided by semi-government bodies. This is the case with the Fonds de Participation in Belgium, which is a federal government institution which assists and promotes the enterprise spirit.
Vous pouvez faire une demande de prêt de lancement. C'est un montant de 30 000 € maximum. C'est remboursable sur une période de 5, 7 ou 10 ans avec un taux à 4%.
It fulfills its mission under the auspices of the Ministry of the Middle Classes, Finance and Employment. Conscious of its mission to reach people in the greatest need, the Fonds de Participation has offered since 1997 microcredits to people wishing to create their own jobs.
Quelqu'un qui serait engagé chez une seule banque pour des montants importants serait pieds et poings liés avec cet organisme, alors que quelqu'un qui aurait switché son risque sur plusieurs intervenants, dont le fonds de participation, a plus de moyens ou de poids vis-à-vis de ces différents partenaires.
At first, clients receive assistance to prepare their business plan. After receiving the loan, they are then followed up for 18 months, mentoring being a fundamental characteristic of European microcredit.
Pour prêter, il faut faire confiance. Et donc la confiance implique effectivement d'avoir en face de soi quelqu'un qui présente des qualités et quelqu'un qui présente un projet crédible. Je crois qu'avant tout, ce qui compte, c'est la motivation, c'est également parfois le passé professionnel de la personne ou sa formation, mais avant tout, je pense, c'est l'enthousiasme, c'est la capacité à porter ce projet, à se rendre crédible, qui font effectivement notre décision.
L'investissement est limité, le risque est relativement limité et leur expérience est correcte. Je pense qu'on peut l'accepter.
The board of directors normally meets weekly to decide on loan applications. Fonds de Participation offers 3 kinds of microcredit: the Startup Loan, the Solidarity Loan and the Young Independence Plan for job seekers under 30. Ilse comes to present her activity report to Rabea, a counsellor with Uniso, which is a support body working with Fonds de Participation. Uniso helped her to prepare her application and to follow a few courses, as well as to obtain a loan of €30,000 from the Fonds de Participation, so she could open a shop selling second-hand clothes.
Door die opleiding was eigenlijk het laatste duwtje dat ik nodig had om mijn dromen te realiseren. Ik zat al een hele tijd met het idee om een nieuwe activiteit te doen. En door die folder in de bus te krijgen heb ik de kans gekregen om daar werk van te maken.
Abdinizak already exported olives when he was in Morocco. Since he arrived in Belgium in 1993, he has been unemployed but not without ambition. During an information meeting at a development institution in Molenbeek, he discovered that he could obtain assistance to start a new import-export business. With his Moroccan experience, he was soon able to begin.
Il y a un secret, j'ai gardé la connaissance des clients, des anciens clients, parce que j'étais exportateur du Maroc vers l'Europe, ici en Belgique et en Hollande. J'ai gardé le contact avec eux, ça fait longtemps que je prépare.
Notre public, c'est un public majoritairement de personnes qui sont exclues du marché du travail, à plus de 85% des personnes qui sont demandeurs d'emploi. On ne peut pas être exclu 2 fois, être exclu du marché du travail et être exclu une 2e fois du marché des idées possibles pour la réalisation d'une activité économique.
An angel passing. That's the name Françoise has given to her crèche, illustrating her love for children. The crèche now accepts up to 16 infants from 3 months to 2.5. They have around 100 square meters for their games. It's a highly pedagogical project, which is also the reason for its success.
Toutes les inscriptions sont là, la crèche est complète, on est obligé de refuser, donc voilà, on ne peut pas rêver mieux. En plus, on va engager du personnel, donc on va pouvoir faire bénéficier, aller offrir de l'emploi à d'autres personnes. Je trouve ça magnifique.
This business creator obtained a start-up loan of €20,000 from the Fonds de Participation, plus a second loan from Credal, an alternative Belgian credit cooperative. We are on the way to Louvain-la-Neuve, the headquarters of Credal, located about 30 kilometers from Brussels. Since it opened in 1985, Credal's main business has been financing the social and solidarity economy in Belgium.
Françoise Van Zeebroek de l'ESBL Credal Plus. Je dois avoir un petit entretien avec vous qui dure à peu près 10 minutes. Dans quel but souhaitez-vous un crédit social?
In 2000, Credal launched its microcredit service for individuals who wanted to start or develop a business. A more specific program for women entrepreneurs was also begun, as well as a social microcredit program which was launched in partnership with government authorities.
Un micro-entrepreneur est un homme ou une femme chef d'orchestre qui doit faire tout seul, et il faut qu'il ait l'ensemble de ses compétences, et donc l'aspect personne est très important pour bien vérifier que ces compétences sont présentes et que l'entrepreneur saura faire du chiffre d'affaires, mais saura également communiquer, gérer sa comptabilité, s'occuper de sa famille.
Vous allez nous convaincre que vous êtes un bon entrepreneur et que vous avez tout ce qu'il faut, toutes les ressources, tous les atouts pour pouvoir démarrer et mener à bien votre projet.
Businesses financed include services, small traders and crafts. The average loan is €8,000 with a maximum of $12,500 over 2 to 3 years, the objective being to make the person bankable. It's an attractive mission for the 6 representatives who work in the microcredit department.
Vous savez pour qui vous travaillez, vous connaissez les actionnaires, donc en quelque sorte les épargnants qui placent leur argent à Credal. Vous voyez directement à quoi sert votre travail. Vous êtes remerciés, c'est très gratifiant de voir les entrepreneurs démarrer, se développer et vivre, des gens sortir du chômage et se réaliser.
And this taxi driver who has done well proves it. In fact, Credal's loan enabled him to purchase the license and other requirements for his taxi. It also helped unlock a loan from Citalam to buy a car. Today he appreciates his independence.
J'essaie de mettre mes heures là où je veux, par rapport à l'horaire de mon épouse. C'est cette indépendance que je cherchais depuis longtemps. Et l'indépendance aussi de travailler beaucoup pour gagner aussi beaucoup. Il y a lieu.
Over the last 6 years, 70% of the businesses which received a microcredit from Credal have survived, which is a much higher rate than the European average, where the 5-year average of a business is only 50%. While most loans in Europe are individual, some group approaches have also been tried. Tucked away in a green corner of northern Norway, Gerd's hostel has been welcoming tourists for the past 2 years. Gerd lost her job 5 years ago where she was working in airport administration. She first restored one old farmhouse, followed by a second. Now she is able to accommodate people throughout the year.
I have a little dream that maybe I can find another old house to put on my farm, and then I can have a second guest house. That'd be nice. And if I find an old house, because it has to be an old house, I will need a loan, yes.
Gerd would like to obtain a loan from outside normal banking channels in order to improve her range of services. So she has joined a group of women known as the Gründer Girls, the Enterprise Girls. This group has existed for 4 years now and is composed of 7 women. It belongs to a government programme, Innovation Norway. The government allocates slightly more than 40,000 euros to the group for lending, for consulting services and for training. All this for an indefinite period. Each member of the group is required to have her own project. Britta is restoring an old family house dating from 1865. She wants to turn it into a tourist hostel.
Det å kunne bruke noe av de kompetansemidlene vi har for å gå på kurs, og for å utvide horisonten litt, for å få kunnskaper om de forskjellige temaene som er viktige i fortsettelsen av med prosjektet som vi holder på med.
Diversifying her business is essential for this breeder. The extra income from the tourist sector will make a good supplement in order that she can maintain her flock of around 50 animals. The members of the group meet once a month to share their experiences and to discuss their needs. Bitten works on a farm where she raises milking cows and cuts firewood. At the end of the day, she begins her second occupation, offering trips to the woods for groups of young people and collecting natural objects to make into common objects.
Jeg tenker å ta et lite lån for å kjøpe en maskin, for å kunne gjøre grovarbeidet på den, og så kunne videreutvikle håndverket for unger. Tilrettelegge bedre. Jeg hadde lyst til å være i en gruppe for å utvikle et konsept, både å lære av andre og gi andre input til sine prosjekter.
Such groups have existed all over Norway for 25 years. It is an original form of microcredit, but also and above all a form of mutual self-help and solidarity. Microfinance has also developed significantly in the new European countries like in Slovakia with Integra, an organisation focusing on women. Integra's MED, Micro Enterprise Development Programme, which began in 1995, has enabled more than 500 women to launch their own businesses. The women are able to obtain financial assistance of up to 3,000 euros, as well as advice and training to give them confidence. Market access is a major obstacle for entrepreneurs, which is why Integra has established Happy Hand centres in 3 Slovak cities, where women business creators can sell their products at craft markets. To get started with their entrepreneurial activities, the women can also follow business courses, seek advice, as well as obtaining microcredit loans. More than 800 women are now involved in this.
My by sme veľmi chceli týmto ženám pomáhať, teda ženám, ktoré začínajú podnikať, ktoré sú na začiatku podnikania. A im pomáhame a vieme, že najviac by potrebovali lepší prístup k pôžičkám. Takisto by potrebovali možno viac sa stretávať spolu, vymieňať si skúsenosti, navzájom sa obohacovať. A takisto si myslíme, že by bol dobrý pre nich mentoringový program.
The difficulties for women in Slovakia to create an enterprise there's mainly three things they face. One is that there's not a long-term enterprise culture in Slovakia because of the communist era. So there's lack of knowledge or lack of experience. Most women are starting a business for the first time. Another problem is that there's very limited access to finance, especially in the poor parts of Slovakia, the rural parts, where they cannot get support from their family. Another difficulty is there's a stereotype that sometimes there's discrimination against women entrepreneurs as being less serious, less professional. It's not true.
In order to increase their influence, many organisations joined together to launch EMN, the European Microfinance Network, in 2003. EMN now has more than 60 organisations in 21 European countries. The annual EMN conference brings together microfinance organisations from all over Europe. EMN receives support from the European Commission, which illustrates its interest in this new tool for fighting social exclusion and for developing micro-enterprises and self-employment.
We would have to think very carefully if it is not better to help these people to develop their ideas through a credit than just to keep them in unemployment situation or in a situation of social exclusion. I think the cost for society is much lower to help these people to find their way back into an activity.
Progressivement, la personne, elle va pouvoir redémarrer, ou elle va pouvoir s'insérer, pas forcément avec son entreprise, elle peut très bien arrêter son entreprise, mais elle aura certainement, les chiffres le montrent et les interviews que l'on a, regagner une confiance.
European Microfinance Network offers training, technical assistance programs, as well as opportunities to share good practices. It organises conferences and carries out field studies. It also lobbies to improve the regulatory environment both at European and national level.
Ce que nous essayons, c'est justement de comparer les situations de différents pays et de formuler des propositions propres à chaque pays, mais qui permettent aussi de dégager ce que sont les bonnes pratiques au niveau de l'Union. Et c'est ces bonnes pratiques qu'il me paraît important de diffuser ensuite avec l'appui de la Commission européenne pour permettre à toute l'Europe d'utiliser le microcrédit comme un instrument de croissance et de cohésion sociale à la fois.
The banks are increasingly interested in microfinance, which helps explain the theme of the 4th EMN conference in Berlin. Nowadays, many European banks are interested in this kind of credit. Will they succeed in making a lie of the saying that banks only lend to the rich? In any case, some people think banks should finance the upper segment of clients' micro and small existing enterprises, while microfinance institutions focus on the lower segment of low-income clients without a guarantee or start-ups.
Nous avons, dans le cadre du projet banlieue, mis 2 millions d'euros pour financer donc un fonds perdu, je l'ai dit, pour se développer en banlieue, 2 millions d'euros sur 3 ans. Et puis à côté de ça, nous prêtons 5 millions d'euros à l'ADI dans des conditions tout à fait privilégiées. Notre motivation, c'est une motivation de citoyenneté d'entreprise.
In another official recognition for micro-entrepreneurs, ADI, in partnership with the Marseille City Council, rewards the most talented business creators at an official ceremony.
Enfin, on prend en considération le créateur d'entreprise et créateur d'entreprise en ayant des petits revenus. C'est pas parce qu'on est terrainiste qu'on est bête ou qu'on n'est pas formé ou qu'on n'a pas d'expérience.
Je suis très heureux d'avoir reçu ce prix-là et je pense que ça va beaucoup m'aider, surtout en ce moment. j'avais des achats à faire de matériel, donc je pense que ça va beaucoup m'aider. Ça m'encourage encore plus et ça me donne envie d'encore plus donner et on va travailler encore.
Thanks to extensive lobbying by ADI and the European Microfinance Network, some significant changes have been made to French and European legislation with the objective of promoting business creation and the development of the microfinance sector. Much still remains to be done, but one thing that is certain is that microcredit will remain a necessary tool for building a financial system in Europe, open to all.
In your mind will blow away. It's easy to believe they're here to stay, but you won't find them standing in your way.